Tonight, first at 6. Commissioner of Police Anthony Ferguson confirming to our news team today that wanted suspect 45-year-old Timothy Cole of Fort Fincastle surrendered to officers at the Central Detective Unit around 9 o'clock this morning. An all-points bulletin was issued by the Royal Bahamas Police Force in today's daily crime report for any assistance in capturing the suspect. Commissioner Ferguson indicated to our news team that Timothy Cole is a person of interest regarding the investigation into the murder of Inspector Carlos Blatch that occurred earlier this week near the H.O. Nash Junior High School. Well, educational officials have reportedly beefed up security at various public schools in the capital following that shooting death near H.O. Nash Junior High earlier this week. Director of Education Marcellus Taylor explains.
Best to secure our school environs. Of course, when school ends, the security persons and senior mistresses and masters, they walk out as far as they can away from the school campus, but of course they only can go a certain distance. As is typical of when there is a tragedy at school, we mobilize our guidance counselors to provide grief counseling for all the staff and the students and so on. I don't know the particulars on the family itself, but I'm sure that our persons at the school will look into that, and if the need is there, we can offer counseling to them as well.
Well, the Bahamas Against Crime organization held a conference yesterday to focus on the abuse and exploitation of children. This year's theme, Protect Our Children, Preserve Our Future. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of National Security, Eugenia Poitier, noted that there needs to be a collective and coordinated effort in evaluating the entire system to come up with best suited solutions.
So for the rights of children to be more than mere unfulfilled promises, the stakeholders within this forum must serve as the promoters and enforcers of the legislated rights for children. The question we must ask ourselves are the following. Does our legal system provide our children with the means to obtain quick and fair justice? Does our legal system remove possible threats from the lives of our children? And do we provide safe havens where our children can be protected from predators?
Well, that was Eugene Poitier, not Eugenia. Well, there remains a high demand for work permits for foreign nationals in the Bahamas. Already, the Department of Immigration is receiving a growing number in those requests. Minister of Immigration, the Honorable Brand Simonet, is concerned about this trend, noting that he is seeing an excess of 500 requests for work permits a week.
I am totally amazed by the number of work permit applications that come in from certain sections of the Bahamas, and North Eleuthera is one of those. There seem to be an extraordinary amount of applications by persons who legally live in the Bahamas or are Bahamians wanting to hire non-nationals to work. It's amazing. Some areas are far too dependent on work permits, and certainly I am looking at that. And I've certainly refused quite a number of work permits in some areas because I think there's an extraordinary amount of non-Bahamians.
Well, with the increase in applications for various jobs, Minister Simonet says a study may be necessary to help address the situation.
The biggest work permit application is handyman, gardener, live-in maids, that type of level. Mm-hmm. And you've heard me say before, I think we need to have a discussion on work permits. I think what we need to do in conjunction with, say, with the University of Bahamas is look at how many households there are here. So if there's, let's say, 20,000 households in Nassau, we don't need 50,000 gardeners.
Well, Senate President, the Honorable Kay Forbes Smith addressed the 10th Annual Policy Forum of International Black Women's Public Policy Institute at the Washington Convention Center in Washington, D.C. yesterday. Senator Forbes Smith was one of several black women from the highest levels of policymaking chosen to share their views on developing a global platform and critical issues that connect women. Prior to Thursday's forum, Senator Forbes Smith and Bahamas Ambassador to the United States and Permanent Representative representative to the Organization of American States, His Excellency Sidney Colley, attended the Institute's 10th anniversary gala and awards reception at the Embassy of the Republic of Haiti on Wednesday, held under the theme Celebrating a Decade of Sustainable Bridge Building. Well, Assistant Director of Legal Affairs in the Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Legal Affairs, Ken Ranuri, is also in Washington, D.C. this week, and she paid a courtesy call on His Excellency Sidney Colley at the Bahamas Embassy in Washington, D.C. yesterday. Mr. Ranuri is currently attending the 31st meeting of the Committee of Experts of Mechanism for the Implementation of the Inter-American Convention Against Corruption. According to the Organization of American States website, the event assembles 33 of the 34 member states to review their legal frameworks and institutions in light of the Inter-American Convention Against Corruption. Well, still ahead, several outstanding academic students receiving awards from a local financial institution. That story and more when First at 6 continues.
Driving on West Bay in rush hour? Hard. Getting a car to enjoy the ride? Easy. Carting the kids around after school? Hard. Getting a car to fit them all? Easy. Get an easy auto loan from Commonwealth Bank. Super low rates, fast 24-hour approval, no loan fee, and no payments for 2 months. So come to Commonwealth Bank and your next car is easy. Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking services.
You can't count on me. Just call me and I'll come by.
My first memory of music would have been a performance when everyone was singing the song. The song was drop down and come up slow, and everyone in the crowd was singing. I was amazed. I was in shock.
I did not always want to be a performer, I actually wanted to be a doctor. And when I was on my way to med school, I had this whole epiphany, and I went to Berklee College of Music, and that's when I made the switch.
If I weren't singing, I'd be singing. I love track and field.
Many different things inspire me. No, it isn't anything specific. It's just, just enjoying the environment. And that's what I think music should be about, being free.
Tap of a button, I'm able to get in contact with persons all the way across the world. Technology acts as that bridge that keeps me connected.
UTC in one word, I would have to say clutch.
Connected with family.
Family.
Every day.
When Reggie heard about the new KFC Value Bucket with yesterday's classics, he said, I'm going to groove an Afro hairstyle, get dressed up, get the car, grab my girl, and remember those good old days. And so he did. Here, got dressed, the car and his girl. Reggie realized that everything has changed except the irresistible taste of KFC. Enjoy a meal of the chicken you love for only $20. The new Value Bucket at KFC Nassau. It's finger-licking good.
This portion of the news brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking.
Welcome back. Through its upcoming National Skills Symposium set for Monday, the Ministry of Labor, in collaboration with private sector, educational institutions, labor unions, and civil society, is looking to address the lack of sufficient skilled Bahamian workers to meet the country's demands of current and future labor needs. Deputy Co-Chair of the National Committee on Skills Development, Matt Aubrey, explained why this collaboration is important.
Each sector is doing a lot to address this issue, but maybe not necessarily as collaboratively or coordinated as possible. So today becomes, or Monday rather, the symposium becomes an opportunity for us all to get under one roof, to understand what the challenges are, to look at what the educational opportunities are out there, what kind of certifications are being presented, and these then can be matched up with what the ministry knows are job gaps, with what private industry realizes and is looking down the line and saying what are those not only current job skills needed, but more importantly, future job skills.
Well, Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis is expected to open the one-day symposium under the theme Forging Our Future, Assessing and Analyzing the Skills Gap in the Bahamas, being held at the National Training Agency's Gladstone Road headquarters. Executive Manager in the Department of Labor, Robert Farquharson, outlined what's expected following Monday's symposium.
Well, the idea behind the symposium is to get a comprehensive report and submit our recommendations to the government of the Bahamas to, if necessary, address our adjust the technical and vocational training aspects in the community, as well as the tertiary level institutions in the Bahamas will be able to, once they get this comprehensive report and the recommendations attached thereto, will be able to adjust their programs to make sure that they are providing the skills, the certifications, and the competencies needed for Bahamians to fill these skills gaps that are identified.
In other news, the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union holding a back-to-school giveaway for the children of union members tomorrow at the union's headquarters on the Tonic Williams-Darling Highway. President Darren Woods says it's all about giving back to members and their families.
It's dubbed Super Duper Saturday. It's an initiative that started some time ago, and we've been for years trying to do it. We did it a couple of times before, but we were able to partner again with Kelly's to get some books and pencils and the likes to give out to our members. This is as a give back, because a lot of times we hear from them, you know, well, what am I getting for the dues that I pay into the union? So it's just a way for us to give back to them and to say that we appreciate them being members of the union.
Well, the Hotel Union president explained that the event will be enjoyed by all.
Program to interact with our membership here at Workers' House and also with their children. But it is a children's event tomorrow. To borrow a phrase from some other people, it's the children's time. And we will be hosting them to hot dog and hamburgers and sip-up drinks and water. And of course, we will give them a little package. So the members will bring their children. We'll give them a little package, and they will come and just have fun. We'll have the bouncing castle, the face painting, all of the things that children love.
Well, as technology advances every day, the Bahamas is positioning itself to become the new silicone capital of the Caribbean. The Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation, or BAIC, is making strides through a technology workshop that will be held on September 18th. Chairman Michael Fogue says the event will economically elevate entrepreneurs.
We, here at BAIC, see the need to work with small businesses by directly assisting them with setting up themselves on the World Wide Web, as well as social media, so that people and other businesses will know that they exist and hopefully increase their business and marketing opportunities both at home and abroad.
Well, young Bahamian entrepreneur Christy Powell worked at Google and is also the co-founder of Coral Software, which is transforming the B2B market in the Caribbean. She says as a workshop facilitator, she will ensure small business owners know the secrets to increase their profit-earning potential.
I'm an entrepreneur myself. Having worked at Goldman, having left Google, for me, if we had 400 people that showed up, if none of them walked into that room having a website and they left thinking, oh my God, I want to have a website or I need one, then I think the workshop would have been successful. I want people to come to learn from each other. And if we all learn collectively, then I think we'll move a lot further faster.
Royal Fidelity Bank and Trust held its annual Pays for A ceremony under the theme Dream Big and Work Hard. This year's event was in honor of former employee Philippa Ferguson Wilson. President of Royal Fidelity Bank and Trust, Michael Anderson, says that it's fitting to honor Wilson in this way because she always spoke of the importance of education.
It's the fifth time we've been doing it. Philippa Ferguson Wilson was an employee of Royal Fidelity for 6 years before she died when she was 35. And this event is really to celebrate her life and some of the values that she held very close in terms of education. We're very proud to be able to present these prizes to the children of Fidelity parents and Royal Fidelity parents who have attained A's in their studies at both high school and lower school. And every year we see more and more children actually performing well. As I think for both the parents and the children, it's a great event. I think everybody appreciates the recognition they get through it.
Well, award recipient for the junior high school student D'Amico Johnson Jr. and his mother shared how they felt about receiving the award.
It feels like I just won an Olympic medal. I wanted to impact people by the things I said. I wanted people to know the meaning behind what I said. That effort is something that must come before you even start working hard. You must put in effort.
Well, I'm not surprised because at a young age, he had shown me that he has something special, and to nurture that, me and my husband empower him to share his knowledge and not to be boastful and prideful in the knowledge that God has given to him. And we are thankful for that.
Stay tuned. Sports is up next with Jonathan Benson.
That portion of the news was brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, the leader in personal banking services.
We'll be with you through new beginnings and sunset endings, through toil and many tears, through the joys and many fears. For all of life's ever-changing moments, trust J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers for all of your insurance needs. J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
At Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center, we provide imaging services to meet all your family's needs. Same goes for imaging at Grosvenor. We're the imaging experts. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiology specialist can consult your doctor and conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Results are ready within 24 hours. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor today.
You can count on me. Just call me and I'll come running. No matter the...
I got into comedy from the day I was born, and I look up and I saw who my parents was. I know my life is gonna be interesting.
The Bahamian people inspire me, like 100%.
I think the keys of the success to the band Visage has been the ability to stay relevant for the many years that the band has been around.
Technology, it keeps me connected.
What technology have done for me is priceless.
I don't know how I would be able to survive without it.
If I would describe BTC into one word, I would say innovative.
Family all around. Communications lifeblood of the Bahamas.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. The top female track athlete in the world, Shawnee Miller-Weibo, returned home yesterday after a busy but successful 2018 season. She was greeted by members of the Bahamas Olympic Committee at the Lynden Pindling International Airport. Unbeaten this year in both the 200 and 400, she is just ready for some rest and relaxation.
Being that it was an off year, it was a little bit harder to focus on the entire season, but we were able to get through it. Like I said, I love great competition, and so the competitions were pretty fierce this year, and so, yeah, I think everything went really well. I can only just be grateful to God for how the season went.
It came down to one game to decide who would move on to the Providence Softball Association's Ladies Championship. The Platinum Pool Sharks and Johnson Truckers on the diamond last night, and they gave the fans their money's worth and more. Both teams came out swinging, and this game went into the bottom of the seventh with the Sharks up 12-11. From there, the Truckers fueled up on gas and pounded out some hits. That, combined with a couple of errors by the Sharks, would be the difference. Truckers win on a walk-off 13-12 to advance. Next up in the title series, the Truckers will try and dethrone the defending champion Sunshine Auto Wildcats. Game 1 they're scheduled for tomorrow night. Two games tonight in the Eleuthera Softball Association, the Twin City Arena. First up in ladies play, the Angels take on the JC Ravens. That's followed by the men, the Palmetto Point Panthers, going head-to-head with the JC Blue Water Jets. Government League basketball action back on the floor tonight as well over at the AF Adderley Gym. A triple header on tap there. Real Deal Rangers opening up against the Game Changers. That's followed by the Police Enforcers and the Panthers. The Defense Force Patrollers and the Knight against the Department of Correction Challengers. The University of the Bahamas men's soccer team on the road this weekend in the Sunshine State. Their first match on the pitch as we speak against Florida College. The Mingos fell behind 1-0 at the half, and that deficit is now 3-0 with time running out. UB plays again tomorrow at 4 p.m. against Johnson University. The New Province Volleyball Association, they are set to open their new season on Sunday. The opening ceremony begins at 3:30 p.m. That's followed by the defending champions in the ladies division, the Scottsdale Vixens up against the Lady Defenders. As for the men, the Intruders begin defense of their crown against the Defenders. There will be 6 men and 6 women's teams in the league this year. From the minor league baseball diamond, Jasrado Chisholm and Visalia finding themselves in a must-win game tonight in the California League's best-of-5 championship. After losing the first 2 games at home to Rancho Cucamonga, Visalia will try and get on track tonight and force a Game 4 come tomorrow, and if necessary, a Game 5 on Sunday. The Bahamas Baseball Association, in conjunction with its international counterparts, hosting a 3-day umpire certification course at St. Andrew's Field of Dreams. It started yesterday and runs through tomorrow.
A certified umpires training course. We brought in some 2 instructors from Dominican Republic to carry on this course, and we hope to have all umpires over the next 3 days here in Nassau take up the opportunity to make sure that when they take our opportunity these courses as we move forward.
That is your first look at sports. Don't go anywhere. First at 6 is back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center.
No matter what your goals are in life, you have to start somewhere. It all begins with Leno. Leno, bridging possibilities. Call us at 396-3225 or email info@lenobahamas.com.
ZNS is everywhere you are when you download the new ZNS app. Watch our live channel to keep up with what's going on in the nation. News updates, we've got you covered. Tune into our radio stations with just a swipe. On the road, on the go, we're here with you. Available for download on the App Store and the Google Play Store.
weather, sports, and entertainment. Wake up with the Morning Edition. Weekdays, 7 a.m., right here on the ZNS Television Network.
What you see and hear on this television station is governed by IRCA's Code of Practice for Content Regulation. The Code of Practice covers matters relating to program content that are of concern to the community, such as local content, news, current affairs, programs for children, advertising, including political advertisements, and the responsibilities associated with broadcasting in the Bahamas. The Code also covers aspects such as access services for the hearing and visually impaired, and the procedure for lodging a complaint about anything broadcast by this station. The code is available on the IRCA website at www.ircabahamas.bs. To receive a copy of the code by mail or in person, you may telephone IRCA at 242-393-0234. Family Island dialing is toll-free at 1-242-300-8722. Or you may send a request by email to info@ircabahamas.bs.
What I love most about working for the Bahamas Tonight is that we don't only focus on New Providence. We cover the entire Bahamas. We have a team here in the Northern Bahamas that is ready to bring you the stories, the people, and the news that matter to you. From point A to Z, from covering hurricanes to elections and everything in between.
There's a spark of greatness in each of us. That spark is called personality. Individual gifts and talents provide the fuel to set that spark ablaze. Each child has the right to an education which values their personality and nurtures their talents, while teaching them to be respectful to their parents and their cultures.
Time now for weather.
In our first look at weather, Hurricane Florence now overland over the Carolinas. It's now packing winds of 70 miles per hour, but heavy rainfall continue to fall, and that will add to the already flooded streets of the Carolinas, and more rain is to come, and that's because Florence is just crawling towards the west at about 3 miles per hour. And then we have Isaac down here. Isaac has rebounded to tropical storm status as well. It's moving west at a very good clip, and we expect it to once again deteriorate within the next day or two and could become a tropical depression, possibly even a tropical wave. But outside of our studios, we have just a few clouds, temperature 86 degrees, relative humidity 69%, south-southeast winds at 8 miles per hour, your barometric pressure 1,012.6 millibars. That is 29.96 inches, and it is steady. That's going to do it for your first look at weather. Stay tuned, more weather is still to come.
Thanks, Basil. That does it for First at 6. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, is next.
Most about working for the Bahamas Tonight is that we don't only focus on New Providence. We cover the entire Bahamas. We have a team here in the Northern Bahamas that is ready to bring you the stories, the people, and the news that matter to you. From point A to Z, from covering hurricanes to elections and everything in between.
There's a spark of greatness in each of us. That spark is called personality. Individual gifts and talents provide the fuel to set that spark ablaze. Each child has the right to an education which values their personality and nurtures their talents, while teaching them to be respectful to their parents and their cultures.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
A call for special attention to be given to the building code. The small home repair program officially launched. And support is growing for the BAIC's pop-up market.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Rolf-Arkeson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, all eyes are on the tropics this weekend as multiple weather systems continue to churn in the Atlantic. One weather system now, Tropical Storm Florence, is unleashing her fury in the Carolinas, dumping heavy rain, causing massive flooding, and has already claimed 4 lives. The Bahamas has had its share of major hurricanes over the past few years, resulting in the government spending in excess of $10 million in home repairs to date. Tonight, Ministry of Works officials say going forward, special attention must be given to the building code. Officer in charge of the Ministry of Works, Tony Hudson Bannister, says that it is imperative for residents who are undergoing construction to do so by the Bahamas Building Code standards. She says the ministry is currently enforcing the code due to the many challenges that occur after the construction of a building, particularly during a storm.
That seems to be the biggest challenge, where we have a lot of persons, their homes were destroyed or damaged because a lot of persons did not build a code. And so we are encouraging persons to follow procedure so that in the event of a disaster, you're protected. You're not only protecting yourself and the persons that live with you, but these illegal structures, or when you don't build up to standard, parts of your home become airborne missiles that injure other persons' properties and persons. It saves lives and property.
She says this is essential for those who are constructing homes on stilts.
We have revisited the connection detail for a lot of the homes that were rebuilt on stilts. We see that the stilts were intact and the homes were intact, but the connection to both was the problem. And so for the most part, we are imploring persons who want to go that route in terms of construction that they seek a competent, licensed structural engineer to do the connection detail to ensure that the two don't come apart during an impending threat.
The officer in charge of the Ministry of Work says that they have made this observation during previous storms.
So you would see that a lot of homes would have been displaced intact and sitting right next door to the stilt, or a couple of the structures all intact, roof intact, everything. It's just that it was separated from the stilt.
And residents still waiting to make repairs to their homes can now breathe a sigh of relief. Megan Shepard reports.
Senator the Honorable Jasmine Turner Darius announcing the start of the long-awaited Small Homes Repair Program, an initiative designed to repair and correct damages on small homes in urban communities. Some 32 homes from east to west have been selected for assistance.
We are thankful today to initiate and begin execution of this $249,000 program with a cluster of 32 homes. We will continue to review files to be approved, and as soon as funds are made readily available, we will approve the others. We know that you are the best in your field. We know that you contractors are the best in your field, and the Bahamas government expects high-quality work done at the industry's top standard and also in a timely fashion.
Project manager of the program, Alvy Penn, says that the informational meeting with contractors served to brief them on the scope of works they will be carrying out should they accept the project and allotted budget.
We know the people in Grand Bahama have been, I guess I should say, suffering after 2 hurricanes. All right, and people, I guess every time it rains, you know, the homeowners, they call urban renewal. You know, our phones be ringing off the hook, not only in Freeport, and also in Nassau and the other family islands. So we are here today to bring comfort and to bring relief to those homeowners who have problems with their roof.
Now, Senator Darius adds that it is imperative that contractors stick to the work that has been pre-approved for repairs.
We wanted the contractors to look at the scope of work. We wanted them to assess and agree to what we've already written out for them, because we are not going to cover additional fees that was not already in the scope of work. And if you notice, we have a team from Nassau, a professional team, a qualified team, who would have already assessed material and labor and incidentals into the scope of work. And so that's why we wanted them to be mindful. And so if there were, after looking at the homes, anything additional, we wanted them to be able to say beforehand, and then we'll proceed because we want them to stay within the scope of works.
The $249,000 project is expected to be a major boost to the island.
You have 32 contractors that will experience employment along with their workers, and of course you'll have a trickle-down effect in the community. And so we are really excited that urban renewal is beginning the small home roof repair program in Grand Bahama.
Senator Darius adds that more homes will be added to the program as more funds become available. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Well, the increased activity in the tropics doesn't pose a threat to the Bahamas at this time. But in the meantime, there is a call being made for Bahamians to check their insurance coverage before it is too late. Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Peter Turnquist, says now is the time to contact your respective insurance companies to ensure that you have adequate coverage.
To look at our insurance coverages to make sure that they are adequate, because there's nothing like having an event happen, coming to the insurance company, and they tell you, you can only get 50%, or you can only get 60%, because you have underinsured. It's a vexing thing for all of us.
And he shares why this is so important.
It's important because the fact of the matter is that the government of the Bahamas can only do so much. And if you were to drive around Freeport today, you will see many roofs still with blue tarps or with varying degrees of damage, waiting on somebody to help. But the reality is our fiscal situation is such that there's only so much that we as a government can do. And so it is incumbent on us to be partners in this thing together. You doing your part, government doing its part, insurance companies and adjusters doing their part, to be fair and equitable.
Well, the National Emergency Agency conducting satellite phone testing throughout the country today. It is an essential exercise to ensure that effective communication equipment is in place in the time of storm. As Megan Shepard tells us, NEMA's local office is intricately involved in that process.
Co-chair of the Grand Bahama Disaster Consultative Committee, Tammy Mitchell, noting the importance of communication lines before, during, and after a disaster, specifically a hurricane. She says that the entire country is connected through several means of communications, and it is a necessity to always be on the same page. Here on Grand Bahama, the essential agencies also use several platforms.
We have the satellite phones, of course. We have the handheld radios, which are connected to the National Police Trunking System, which if anything goes out, that system is expected to remain operational all throughout, before, during, and after any event. We also have our radios that we use for the shelters, where every shelter is assigned a radio that can communicate with the Emergency Operations Center once the shelters are open. Communication is very important because, you know, if you fail to communicate, you definitely are going to have challenges.
The committee is actively planning and preparing for disasters year-round. But Mitchell says that during this time of the year, the work goes into overdrive.
We stay in contact with all of the emergency support function, lead, and support agencies. And we make sure that we check our communication levels periodically. We're also checking on our supplies. We're trying to make sure that if there's a need for shipment or for stuff coming in or going out of the warehouse, for example, we make sure that there are persons in place. Ministry of Works is also doing their checks because, you know, they're responsible for all of the government assets, to make sure that there are persons in place, and they have their teams already structured so that if there has to be anything that has to be secured, all of that is already in place. And we're touching bases with everyone constantly. We have our emergency support function chat groups where everybody receives emergency messages at the same time. And that is something that Captain Russell asks every island to put in place.
Another agency that is a part of the consultative committee is the University of the Bahamas. While this partnership is not entirely new, Mitchell says they are enhancing their role and participation.
The University of the Bahamas also has one of the national trunking radios. So if something is happening up there, we can also communicate with them as well. They are also a part of our disaster committee team. So anything that's going on up there, if there is an emergency, we can communicate directly with them through our national radio. Because they do now have students from the other islands that are now here on Grand Bahama. So they are also in the process of ensuring that if something happens and those students have to get back home to their respective islands, that is being addressed. So it's very important, and they are showing representation in our monthly meetings. They do come to the meetings at the end of every month.
Now, Mitchell is inviting all organizations that are interested in becoming a part of the committee to visit or call the NEMA headquarters for more information. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
In news from the crime beat, 24-year-old Travis Alexander Coakley, a.k.a. Justin Thompson of Exuma, was hauled before the court today on 42 counts of fraud by false pretenses. Coakley pled not guilty to all charges, and the matters were adjourned to December 3rd through 5th and January 22nd through 29th for trial. Now, he was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections until trial. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay with us. There's more news right after this break.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Dolly Madison, Freeport's original home center.
It's time to come on down. Now to the plant nursery at Dolly Madison. They're loaded with indoor and outdoor plants, fruit trees, landscaping plants, flowering plants, herbs, and more. At the plant nursery at Dolly Madison. And if you need advice, the friendly, courteous staff at Dolly Madison is there to assist. And don't forget to pick up your soil, fertilizers, and other accessories. Don't wait. Come on down. Now.
From the Bahamas, sunset and sea, a lot of activities, but for you and me. If you don't believe me, then come follow me. Come right down to this place and we call it KFC. KFC the Big Cheese. We got the Big Cheese. KFC the Big Cheese. We got the Big Cheese. No one can beat us at anything we do. Sports, art, soccer, jamming, even junk canoe. We got the best beaches, even though how we do. KFC the Big Cheese. We got the Big Cheese. KFC the Big Cheese. We got the Big Cheese.
Purchase a Big Cheese deal today and receive 2 Big Cheese collectible cups at all KFC restaurants in Freeport.
Stay informed on your local weather forecast this 2018 hurricane season. Your #1 news station, the ZNS Television Network. We've got you covered. Covering the Northern Bahamas, you're watching the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Support is growing for the Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation's pop-up market. The market held at the BAIC headquarters every month is a hotspot for the sale of local produce. As Megan Shepard tells us, customers are lobbying for changes.
Disorganization and frustration seem to be the key words to describe the second BAIC pop-up farmers market on Grand Bahama. Now, following a very successful inaugural pop-up market, residents turned up in droves to get their fill of fresh fruits and vegetables. But unfortunately, many say they were unhappy with the experience.
Of course, it was crowded and it's not organized. So there were a lot of pushing and pulling, and then they didn't have all of the stuff that I came for. So it was not a good experience for me, so I don't think I would do it again. If they organize it better than that, yes.
I've been here almost 2 hours, and it's terrible because, we don't have these stuff, everybody is flocking in to get it. They're trying their best, but every time they bring the product and they reach under the tent, people start taking the box from them. So it really needs to be properly organized.
I say just say organized by the button. They need to organize this better in this spot. We got a lot of people here, and everybody needs to be served. Look at me looking like cows or chicken or something like that.
I've been here 2 hours, and it's been a disaster. Poorly organized, good product, but poorly organized. I don't think I will come back again.
Now, not only were residents disappointed with the way the market was set up, but they were not happy with the quantity of the produce as well. However, they admit that perhaps high demand made it hard for everyone to secure the fruit and vegetables that they wanted.
Watermelon, sugar apples, they had the caneps, but the caneps weren't that good, so I was disappointed. I got a few, but the main ones that I came for, I did not get.
Every time the sugar apple box comes, someone grab it. So I'm not able to get any sugar apple. I'm not able to get any watermelon. And they are really the real things that I came for.
I found some banana. I'm looking for a good-sized watermelon, so I will go to Solomon for my watermelon.
Now, there was a bright side to the pop-up market. Residents were assured that prices would remain affordable and the same as what is offered in New Providence.
The prices were good. The prices were very, very good. And I would have had a better experience if it was better organized and if they had had the stuff that I wanted.
These residents say they have some suggestions going forward.
It's a good concept, but it has to be organized right. They should use a whole area and people just walk in. We got us like giving us a pig pen, like the old market in Nassau. They need to let Freeport organize it.
Senior citizen line. When you come here, because it's too long standing up.
The next pop-up market is set for the end of the month. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Well, Chairman of BAIC, Michael Folks, telling ZNS News that the response to the pop-up market has surpassed their expectations on Grand Bahama. He says that they are looking for a bigger location for the market, and that should translate into a more organized environment. And now it is time to ask the doctor.
And welcome. Today we'll wrap up our discussion of medical emergencies with a focus on CPR. Medical emergencies are a fact of life, and it is likely that each of us will be in the presence of a person experiencing one at some point in our lives. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation, also known as CPR, is a life-saving technique useful in many emergencies, including a heart attack or near drowning in which someone's breathing or heartbeat has stopped. CPR can keep oxygenated blood flowing to the brain and other vital organs until more definitive medical treatment can restore a normal heart rhythm. When the heart stops, the lack of oxygen in the blood can cause the brain damage in only a few minutes, and a person may die within 8 to 10 minutes. There are organizations that provide CPR training, so call your local clinic or hospital or check your phone book to find a program near you. Everyone should have at least basic training in the first aid and CPR. If you have questions regarding medical emergencies or CPR, which can be life-saving, please email askdrbahamas@gmail.com. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
Don't go away. And Check on Sports is up next with Ramiko Knowles.
More Makeup by Megan Coakley. When you want to look like a star. Phone 443-7979.
Pizza Hut's Back to School Special. Get a large, one-topping pizza, 5 cheesy breadsticks, and a 2-liter drink for just $19.99. That inclusive at Pizza Hut downtown and Sunrise Highway. The perfect meal at the perfect time. Pizza Hut's Back to School Special. A large one-topping pizza, cheesy breadsticks, and a 2-liter drink, just $19.99. Or get 2 medium 2-topping pizzas with any crust, any day, just $8.99 each. For the love of pizza. Pizza Hut.
Welcome to Sports 360 with J Food. We have live in studio today.
It goes down to discipline, taking care of your body, knowing what you need to put into your body.
For
I've got the national records in the 200, 400, 800 free. We've just got eyes on Tokyo 2020.
Hi, I'm Jay Philippe, and you can tune in every Monday at 12:30 p.m. talking sports.
Power 104.5 FM.
Good evening all, welcome to sports. I'm Ramiko Knowles. First up in sports, a sorority on Grand Bahama introducing an adult swim club over at the Bishop Michael Eldon School. If you've been putting off learning this essential skill, then now is the time to sign up as classes are being offered for a limited time only. Megan Shepard was poolside.
Member of Kappa Delta Sigma alumni chapter of the Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, Jarrell Hudson, says that Swim 1922 is an international initiative implemented to increase swim participation and decrease drowning rates in the community, especially among adults.
We know that the ocean surrounds us on all sides on every single island, but how is it that the swimming rate is so low? That lends itself to a lot of risks of accidents every summer, a lot of older people not being comfortable with their children being in swimming pools because they're unable to swim. So we're trying to minimize that risk associated and allow people to enjoy recreational swimming.
The clinic is open to all adults within the community, whether you're a complete beginner or looking to brush up on your skills. Participants Mitchum Jasper and Stephanie Brown say they believe swimming is an essential skill that could potentially save lives one day.
I actually can swim a little bit. However, I have issues floating and treading water. So that's one of the main reasons I came out, to kind of just get better, become a stronger swimmer. Because at the end of the day, you never know what can happen, and someday I might need to swim to save my life.
One like me, I'm a non-swimmer. And so I finally built up the courage to come out and to experience it myself, to get comfortable with being around the water and in the water, and to really learn a life essential. I've been living here all my life. So at this point and stage and age in my life, I need to overcome the fear.
They say it is a fun and comfortable environment and are inviting more adults to come out and take advantage of this opportunity.
A lot of people tend to be scared of trying new things, but it's good to try something new, learn different skills, because you never know in life what may happen.
We come out because we'll support each other. All of us here who are non-swimmers or not strong enough swimmers, but coming out to brush up on their swimming skills. It's no need to feel embarrassed or be ashamed. It's a life skill that we all need to learn.
The adult swim clinic will be held every Saturday at the Bishop Michael Eldon Pool beginning at 9:30 a.m. Megan Shepard, ZNS Total Sports.
Now the adult swim clinic will wrap up on September 29th. Taking you to the Diamond now, the Bahamas Umpire Association holding a 3-day clinic at the Amera Baseball Park to certify umpires on Grand Bahama. 2 chief umpires flying in from the Dominican Republic to assist the association in teaching the art of umpiring. Chief umpire for the Bahamas Baseball Association, Martin Burrows, has been calling baseball games for the past 15 years. He says that this training session and certification clinic is necessary for individuals seeking to be a part of the Bahamas Umpires Association.
We have new players coming in the game and everything, and we're trying to get a new set of umpires. But we're not only trying to get them new, but we're going to try and train them and get them ready so when they go on the field, we can have more better officiating so the games could run much smoothly. Umpiring is basically plenty of judgment, but to be the judge, you have to be in the right position, the right set, the right frame, and also the right technique. This is what we're trying to teach them, so when they go in the game, it'll be more better to officiate the game.
Deputy umpire and chief of the Northern Bahamas Softball Federation, Brent Spence, says that the game is consistently growing and that it is good for umpires to learn as much as they could.
It's always good for the umpires to upgrade themselves, to get a better knowledge of the game, because the game is changing. And when the game changes, the umpires have to change also along with the game. So it's good to get a better knowledge of it.
Burrows says he plans to go into the schools soon to recruit students interested in learning how to call baseball games. He notes that many persons may not be able able to play baseball or softball but would like to be a part of the sport.
That's going to be a big job for me to do, but I'm always willing for the challenge. And once I can get people interested, once we get them out, we get them interested, I sure but in the next year, when the baseball stadium finish in the Bahamas, we can have at least 25 certified umpires to go on the field in blue.
Martin Burrows says that this will not be the last training camp and that he plans to make it an annual event. And that's what's making sports. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Until next time, enjoy your weekend.
Welcome to Jazz International. We have Celebration, Valeria, FRS, Bahamas Air, Hotel, car vouchers now on sale.
Girls, I tried book my ticket online with them ferry. That's so complicated, they asking for too much.
That's why I stick to Jags. No agency fees or booking fees. Cash and credit, all the same. Blow deals and spectacular services with a smile.
Yes, that's Jags. Your one-stop shop to Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, and Miami.
We even offer cheap car rental vouchers, dollar, thrifty, Hertz, and VIP service.
Book now with Jags and get their $5 discount card. And don't forget the super sales going on.
Business owners are excited about ZNS Northern Service Storm Central Hurricane packages because advertising rates are discounted up to 50%. That's right, get 50% off advertising packages this hurricane season from now through November 30th. Call our sales department at 351-3430 or 352-9713 and book your advertising package today.
When a hurricane watch or warning is issued, medical emergency services are placed on high alert. For many persons seeking medical care, defining what an emergency is can be difficult to assess given all that is occurring during the storm. The following basic guidelines are designed to help you assess your emergency. If you are experiencing symptoms like shortness of breath, chest pain, severe pain, disorientation, extreme vomiting or diarrhea, vision disturbance or suicidal thoughts, you should seek immediate medical assistance. If you are bleeding significantly or otherwise severely injured, seek emergency assistance immediately. Children presenting with symptoms like high fever and extremely listless or lethargic behavior need to be taken to the emergency room immediately. If you are unsure of the extent of your condition, you are advised to seek medical assistance immediately. Share your symptoms with the on-call doctor and get advice as to whether or not it can wait until normal business hours. Remember, emergency care is not a convenient option for basic medical care during a storm. The Public Hospitals Authority encourages members of the public to use these basic guidelines to help decide on whether something is an emergency or not. The authority reminds the public that in the case of an emergency, always call 919 or head immediately to the emergency room. This message has been brought to you by the Public Hospitals Authority and the National Emergency Management Agency.
Welcome to Sports 360 with Jay Fleet. We have live in studio today.
It goes down to discipline, taking care of your body, knowing what you need to put into your body.
Well, I've got the national records in the 200, 400, 800 free. We've just got eyes on Tokyo 2020.
Hi, I'm Jay Fleet, and you can tune in every Monday at 12:30 p.m. talking sports.
Power 104.5 FM.
This one goes out to Quentin Gordon, and that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of our entire ZNS News team, I'm Shashina Wolf-Farquharson. Make it a great weekend.
What you see and hear on this television station is governed by IRCA's Code of Practice for Content Regulation.
The Code of Practice covers matters relating to program content that are of concern to the community, such as local content, news, current affairs, programs for children, advertising, including political advertisements, and the responsibilities associated with broadcasting in the Bahamas. The Code also covers aspects such as access services for the hearing and visually impaired, and the procedure for lodging a complaint about anything broadcast by this station. The code is available on the IRCA website at www.ircabahamas.bs. To receive a copy of the code by mail or in person, you may telephone IRCA at 242-393-0234. Family Island dialing is toll-free at 1-242-300-8722. Or you may send a request by email to info@ircabahamas.bs.
What I love most about working for the Bahamas Tonight is that we don't only focus on New Providence. We cover the entire Bahamas. We have a team here in the northern Bahamas that is ready to bring you the stories, the people, and the news that matter to you. From point A to Z, from covering hurricanes to elections and everything in between.
There's a spark of greatness in each of us. That spark is called personality. Individual gifts and talents provide the fuel to set that spark ablaze. Each child has the right to an education which values their personality and nurtures their talents, while teaching them to be respectful to their parents and their cultures.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, wanted suspect Timothy Cole is behind bars. Security beefed up at several public schools here in New Providence. And Royal Fidelity keeps students motivated by rewarding them for A's. The Bahamas Tonight starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC every day.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jiminita Swain. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Commissioner of Police Anthony Ferguson confirming to our news team today that wanted suspect 45-year-old Timothy Cole of Fort Fincastle surrendered to officers at the Central Detective Unit around 9 o'clock this morning. An all-points bulletin was issued by police in today's daily crime report, appealing for public assistance in capturing the suspect. Commissioner Ferguson indicated to our news team that Timothy Cole is a person of interest regarding the investigation into the murder of Inspector Carlos Blatch that occurred earlier this week near the H.O. Nash Junior High School. This is, of course, a developing story. ZNS News will continue to follow. Well, following that shooting near the H.O. Nash School campus earlier this week, we understand that security has been beefed up at various public schools in the capital. Director of Education, Marcellus Taylor.
We do our best to secure our school environs. Of course, when school ends, the security persons and senior mistresses and masters, they walk out as far as they can away from the school campus, but of course they only can go a certain distance. As is typical of when there's a tragedy at school, we mobilize our guidance counselors to provide grief counseling for all the staff and the students and so on. I don't know the particulars on the family itself, but you know, I'm sure that our persons at the school will look into that, and if the need is there, we can offer counseling to them as well.
Well, as the country comes to grips with the loss of Inspector Blatch, it's especially devastating for his church family at New Birth Deliverance Kingdom Ministries. LaDon Davis visited the church where the former police officer served in several capacities.
4 cowbells, a keyboard, a microphone, and some drums are just some of the instruments left behind at the New Birth Deliverance Kingdom Ministries that were once used by Inspector Carlos Blatch every Sunday morning while serving as head of the church's music ministries for the past 9 years. Senior Pastor Procton Patton says Inspector Blatch was hardworking, dedicated, and committed to the church. He says the news of his senseless killing on Wednesday devastated the church body.
We had a meeting right after his passing, and everybody share. And no one here at this ministry have anything negative to say about Carlos Blatch. He is just lovable. Once you meet him, you have no other choice but to love him. So no doubt he will be greatly, greatly missed. And his portfolio here at the ministry, he is the minister responsible for music, the media department, also for the maintaining and upkeep of the premises and the building, and also he is responsible for protocol here at the ministry.
And while Patton says Inspector Blatch's shoes will be hard to fill, he believes a spiritual warfare must move throughout this country to get a grip on this crime problem. He says for someone to conduct a fatal slaying in front of the victim's daughter was heartless.
When you have lost touch with God, definitely anything go. That means you have no heart to be sympathetic, to be caring, and to be respectful of life and property. And to do something like that, not only his daughter was there, but school was out. And to me, it's just careless. That means you have a don't care attitude.
And contrary to what was reported in social media, Pastor Patton says Inspector Blatch was an exceptional father who loved his children unconditionally.
He loved his kids. I must say that from what I see and from what I know, Carlos Blatch loved his children. On Wednesday past is a prime example. His baby was in the car, waiting patiently to pick up Carlos Jr. from school to make sure that they get home safely. He didn't reach late.
The former police officer made this strong appeal to the person or persons responsible for taking the life of a man with so much promise.
Turn yourself in. At the sound of my voice, if you're doing something that is illegal, this is a time to stop. Because if you don't stop, the police will stop you, and if police don't stop you, I guarantee you, God will speak, and you will get cut down.
LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
In news from the courts, 2 women were charged with drug possession after a plate of food with suspected marijuana was delivered to the Bahamas Department of Corrections last week. Deandra Williamson was in court for the arraignment.
60-year-old Wendy Smith of Windsor Place, Soldier Road, and 43-year-old Siobhan Johnson of number 38 Hutchinson Street, Baintown, were charged in the magistrate's court in connection to a recent drug arrest at the Bahamas Department of Corrections. The women appeared before Assistant Chief Magistrate Shubasola Swain and were both charged with conspiracy to possess dangerous drugs with intent to supply and possession of dangerous drugs with intent to supply. Police say on September 6, shortly after 11 a.m., a woman brought 2 plates of food to the property intake section at the Bahamas Department of Corrections. Police conducted a routine check of the food and recovered at the bottom of one of the plates a quantity of suspected marijuana weighing 1 ounce with a value of $100. The woman was taken into custody. Smith and Johnson pleaded not guilty to the charges. They were not granted bail and advised of their right to apply for bail in the Supreme Court. Both Smith and Johnson are remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. The matter was adjourned until October 29th at 10 a.m. for trial. For ZNS Network News, I'm Deandra Williamson.
In other news, the abuse and exploitation of children, the focus of a conference yesterday hosted by the Bahamas Against Crime organization. The theme, Protect Our Children, Preserve Our Future. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of National Security, Eugene Poitier, says that child protection is an issue that should be targeted head-on.
The protection of our children is not an option, but it is a right. And wishing the problem away or ignoring the white elephant in the room is foolhardy and irresponsible and will not change the problem. For all of our good intentions and our well-planned fora, more is needed to eradicate this social scourge. So we have adequate child legal and protective services. We have our juvenile court panels. We have Marco's Law and the Child Protection Act. We have the Bahamas' Constitution and the National Committee for Families and Children, and many other laws to protect our children, and yet child exploitation persists.
And Poitier added that there needs to be a collective and coordinated effort in evaluating the entire system to come up with best-suited solutions.
So for the rights of children to be more than mere unfulfilled promises, the stakeholders within this forum must serve as the promoters and enforcers of the legislated rights for children. The question we must ask ourselves are the following. Does our legal system provide our children with the means to obtain quick and fair justice? Does our legal system remove possible threats from the lives of our children? And do we provide safe havens where our children can be protected from predators?
The state of the public school system under review by Education Minister the Honorable Jeffrey Lloyd. His annual back-to-school national address aired last night on the ZNS network. Minister Lloyd made it clear that the only acceptable standard for education is excellence. He touched on a number of priority items on the ministry's agenda, including improving the national graduation rate, which now stands at 50%.
The aim is to increase that graduation rate from the present 50% to 85% within the next 12 years. That's by 2030. Of course, we expect to do it far sooner, but 2030 is our goal. And we believe that by focusing on the key areas outlined above, we are sure to achieve and surpass that lofty goal.
Well, the Education Minister noted that government's commitment to digitize the entire public school system by 2019. Regarding preschool education, Minister Lloyd acknowledged that 50% of the country's preschoolers are not ready to enter grade 1.
Our ministry hopes to increase the percentage of 3- and 4-year-olds in preschools from the current 30% to 75%. How are we going to do this? Beginning this year and every year hereafter, we increase that enrollment by 1,000 students. We have already begun this year by registering our first 1,000 students to increase the number that we already have in our schools. We did not have the space for all of them in the public system, so we partnered with carefully vetted.
Still ahead tonight, a rebranding exercise underway for Bahama host. And in sports, New Providence Softball Association playoffs heating up last night. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Shell, fueling journeys that matter. Summer promotion.
Driving on West Bay in rush hour? Hard. Getting a car to enjoy the ride? Easy. Carting the kids around after school? Hard. Getting a car to fit them all? Easy. Get an easy auto loan from Commonwealth Bank. Super low rates, fast 24-hour approval, no loan fee, and no payments for 2 months. So come to Commonwealth Bank and your next car is easy. Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking services.
You can count on me. Just call me and I'll come running. No matter the...
I got into comedy from the day I was born, and I look up and I saw who my parents was. I know my life is gonna be interesting.
The Bahamian people inspire me, like 100%.
I think the keys of the success to the band Visage has been the ability to stay relevant for the many years that the band has been around.
Technology, it keeps me connected.
What technology have done for me is priceless.
I don't know how I would be able to survive without it.
If I would describe BTC into one word, I would say innovative.
Family all around.
Communications lifeblood of the Bahamas.
When Reggie heard about the new KFC Value Bucket with yesterday's classics, he said, I'm going to groove an Afro hairstyle, get dressed up, get the car, grab my girl, and remember those good old days. And so he did. Here, got dressed, the car and his girl. Reggie realized that everything has changed except the irresistible taste of KFC. Enjoy a meal of the chicken you love for only $20. The new Value Bucket at KFC Nassau. It's finger-licking good.
Hey, miss, this true? Pop the top is back?
Yes, sir, and bigger and better than ever.
Collect. The Bear of the Bahamas is giving you the chance to win $30,000 and tons of free bear with the 30th anniversary Pop the Top promotion. Here's how you can win free bear or the $30,000 grand prize. Just buy, collect, Pop the Top, and check your caps to see if you've won. Select bars, liquor stores, and all 700 wines and spirits stores are Pop the Top redemption centers where you can present your caps and get your free collect bear instantly. To win the $30,000 grand prize, collect 6. Enter to win $30,000 caps. Place your caps in a Pop the Top envelope and complete the information requested. Then submit your entry in any Pop the Top Dropbox, block party, or the Pop the Top bus for your chance to win $30,000. Let's celebrate Bahamian and 30 years of the Bear of the Bahamas. Collect Pop the Top 30th anniversary. Celebrate responsibly.
This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
The Department of Immigration's request for work permits for foreign nationals is growing. Minister of Immigration, the Honorable Brent Simonet, is concerned about this trend, noting that he's seen in excess of 500 requests for work permits a week.
I am totally amazed by the number of work permit applications that come in from certain sections of the Bahamas, and North Eleuthera is one of those. There seem to be an extraordinary amount of applications by persons who legally live in the Bahamas or are Bahamians wanting to hire non-nationals to work. It's amazing. Some areas are far too dependent on work permits, and certainly I am looking at that. And I've certainly refused quite a number of work permits in some areas because I think there's an extraordinary amount of non-Bahamians.
Well, with the increase in applications for various jobs, Minister Simonet says a study may be necessary to help to address the situation.
The biggest work permit application is handyman, gardener, live-in maids, that type of level. Mm-hmm. And you've heard me say before, I think we need to have a discussion on work permits. I think what we need to do in conjunction with, say, with the University of Bahamas is look at how many households there are here. So if there's, let's say, 20,000 households in Nassau, we don't need 50,000 gardeners.
On to other news, Addison Sumner has resigned as Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employees Confederation in his resignation letter to Chamber of Commerce Chairman Mike Mora Jr. Sumner indicated that recent reports of a long-standing legacy issue has made it challenging for him to continue his role as Chamber CEO. He made it clear that the Chamber of Commerce is too important an organization, that is, and has too great a responsibility to be distracted or compromised by these matters. Sumner maintains that his dedication to resign his decision to resign, that is in the best interest of the chamber as well as for his family. Sumner also noted that being a chamber CEO for the past 5 years has been the job of his life and that he has enjoyed it immensely. He admitted that he will miss it, but life goes on. He thanked the Chamber's Board of Directors and staff and wished the organization great success and continued development. Well, the Ministry of Tourism celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Bahama Host program. Earlier this week, during a service at St. Barnabas Anglican Church, Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Dionisio de Aguilar, announced the launch of a rebranded program under the theme Training to Protect Our Culture and Heritage. Minister G. Aguilar says Bahama Host is the country's signature tourism training program designed to keep the Bahamas ahead in the service industry.
The Bahama Host program has dissected the art of hospitality and distilled it into a precise science, which it brings to the industry and the public in the format of a highly structured curriculum, which has as its highlight training in customer service. The Bahama Host program is national in scope. The program is offered throughout our far-flung archipelago, wherever there is tourism infrastructure. Each year, some 1,200 graduates complete our program nationally.
Well, the tourism minister noted that the program is reviewed every 6 years to ensure that it responds to industry needs.
This review of the Bahama host curriculum is mandated by law. We have just recently undergone a review, overhauling, adjusting, expanding, and fine-tuning each of the 5 modules of the Bahama host program. We have added an additional module to the curriculum, a module called Global Impact. This module will roll out in 2 phases. The first is focused on diversity training. Each year we spend millions and millions of dollars advertising and promoting the Bahamas abroad in traditional media such as television, radio, print, and also on social media.
Well, as a part of its National Skills Symposium set to launch on Monday, the Ministry of Labor, in collaboration with the private sector, educational institutions, labor unions, and civil society, anticipates addressing the lack of sufficient skilled Bahamian workers to meet the country's demands of current and future labor needs. Deputy Co-Chair of the National Committee on Skills Development, Matt Aubrey, on the benefits of the collaboration.
Each sector is doing a lot to address this issue, but maybe not necessarily as collaboratively or coordinated as possible. So today becomes, or Monday rather, the symposium becomes an opportunity for us all to get under one roof, to understand what the challenges are, to look at what the educational opportunities are out there, what kind of certifications are being presented, and these then can be matched up with what the ministry knows are job gaps, with what private industry realizes in looking down the line and saying what are those not only current job skills needed, but more importantly, future job skills.
Well, Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis is expected to open the one-day symposium under the theme Forging Our Future, Assessing and Analyzing the Skills Gap in the Bahamas, being held at the National Training Agency's Gladstone Road headquarters. Executive Manager in the Department of Labor, Robert Farquharson, outlined what's expected following Monday's symposium.
Well, the idea behind the symposium is to get a comprehensive report and submit our recommendations to the government of the Bahamas to, if necessary, adjust the technical and vocational training aspects in the community, as well as the tertiary level institutions in the Bahamas will be able to, once they get this comprehensive report and the recommendations attached thereto, will be able to adjust their programs to make sure that they are providing the skills, the certifications, and the competencies needed for Bahamians to fill these skills gaps that are identified.
Well, executives of the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union calling on executives at the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort to provide clarity on a new 12-point system that has reportedly been implemented for staff at Atlantis this week. President Darren Woods claims the new system is in breach of the industrial agreement between both parties.
We actually need full clarity on what it is that they intend to do, because we also gave some suggestions in the meeting. If you want to reward persons who are punctual and persons who do the right thing, but we say reward those persons, right? The ones who do not, when they see those persons being rewarded, well, hey, listen, you know we like things. We want to be rewarded too. But one thing we would say to our membership is that we expect for them, whatever the rules are, to comply with the rules as they exist. And we expect for them, whenever something happens, to report it to the management team.
In response, an Atlantis spokesman said, quote, "It is not our practice to discuss how we manage our business in the media," end quote. Meanwhile, President Wood says the union will hold a special call meeting for its 3,000 members who will work at Atlantis Resort to discuss the matter.
We've agreed in our industrial agreement to discipline and discharge, right? We've agreed to how they should be handled. Any deviation from that agreement, we have to agree to it. We have to agree to it. And as it stands now, the 12 points, I'm telling you, there's only 12, the only 12 points that our members recognize are the 12 officers in which they've elected to work and negotiate on their behalf.
Well, the word coming out of North Carolina is pretty good for Bahamian students. The Consul General's office in Atlanta has seen a tremendous amount of outreach from the students in North Carolina over the past several days. Bahamas Consul General in Atlanta, Astra Bristol Rule, gave us this update earlier today.
Well, I haven't had much contact with them so far for the morning. As of yesterday, we know that the rains and the winds have started to come down on them. But everybody's very grateful that the storm has kind of downgraded to the 2 that it is today. We still urge everyone to be careful and to take precautions, but we're very happy that the storm is a lot less than it was when we first started this ordeal. Most of our students are safe. They're in their universities. They're either in the dorms or in like large cafeteria areas or the student center. And most of them are safe. We feel very good about the situation for our students in North Carolina. The storm is now a 1 now that it's made landfall. So we know that the buildings that they're in are going to be able to withstand that. So at this point, we're not particularly worried that we have any of them that are going to be in great jeopardy.
And according to Ambrista Rule, the office in Atlanta will be operating to ensure that students can reach out to officials and maintain contact with students.
In Atlanta, things have kind of calmed down just a little bit. So all of the state and government buildings are going to be open. So we reopened our office. We had plans to close it today, but we're going to be at work all day today. So the office lines will be open all day. And then tonight, the phone numbers of the employees. So you'll always be able to reach someone.
What better way to keep students motivated than to recognize their hard work? Well, Royal Fidelity Bank and Trust did just that during its annual Pays for A ceremony last night. The theme, Dream Big and Work Hard. This year's event was held in honor of former employee Philippa Ferguson Wilson. President Michael Anderson says it's fitting to honor Wilson in this way because education was important to her.
It's the 5th time we've been doing it. Philippa Ferguson Wilson was an employee of Royal Fidelity for 6 years before she died when she was 35. And this event is really to celebrate her life and some of the values that she held very close in terms of education. We're very proud to be able to present these prizes to the children of Fidelity parents and Royal Fidelity parents who have attained A's in their studies at both high school and lower school. And every year we see more and more children actually performing well. As I think for both the parents and the children, it's a great event. I think everybody appreciates the recognition they get through it.
Well, award recipient junior high school student D'Amico Johnson Jr. and his mother shared how they felt about him receiving the award.
It feels like I just won an Olympic medal. I wanted to impact people by the things I said. I wanted people to know the meaning behind what I said. That effort is something that must come before you even start working hard. You must put in effort.
Well, I'm not surprised because at a young age, he had shown me that he has something special, and to nurture that, me and my husband empower him to share his knowledge and not to be boastful and prideful in the knowledge that God has given to him. And we are thankful for that.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
I'm Belinda Payne, and this is your Royal Fidelity Weekly Market Wrap. The local market momentum declined this week, with 250,160 shares crossing the exchange, down from last week's volume of 259,901 shares. 10 of the 19 publicly traded companies experienced activity this week. The star performer for the week was AML Foods, trading 5,500 shares to close up by 6 cents or 1.52% to a new price of $4.01 per share. The other advances this week were Cable Bahamas, Commonwealth Brewery, Fidelity Bank, and First Caribbean. The lone decliner for the week was Commonwealth Bank, trading 230,000 shares to close down 4 cents or 1.1% to $3.61 per share. In other company news, Commonwealth Bank declared a dividend of 2 cents per share to shareholders payable on the 28th of September. Here's your wealth tip for the week. There's no crystal ball on determining how your investments will perform, but one surefire way to gain a financial edge is through an automatic investment account.
Think about it. By consistently investing 5 to 10% of your income every single month, you will grow your wealth in a huge way. Have the money automatically deducted from your paycheck and deposited straight to your investment accounts. Automatic deposit into investment accounts is absolutely the best way to have discipline when it comes to saving and investing. All you have to do is set it and forget it. I'm Belinda Payne, and this is your Royal Fidelity Weekly Market Recap.
More than where the heart is. Home is where the children feel safe. A place where family comes first. Come home today with a BOB residential mortgage. Enjoy attractive rates with up to 25 years to repay. Or use the equity in your home to fund home improvements or other worthwhile needs. Isn't it time you came home to a place of your own? Talk with us today. BOB, your bank of solutions.
There's only one place to find it all, and it's right here at the Builders Mall, where our friendly staff will provide you with everything your project needs.
From electrical supplies to lighting design.
An array of bathroom and plumbing fixtures, tools, lumber, shingles, and roofing materials.
Everything for the contractor.
Or the do-it-yourselfer. For the perfect finishing touch, it's the Paint Center. For a rainbow worth of colors, try Valspar Premium Paint.
Along with Minmax stains to help you finish the job.
Come, stop by next door at Tile King.
And browse an exquisite selection of tiles from around the world.
Plus, granite countertops and medallions.
Setting materials and a full line of Ruby tools for the wall, floor, patio, or pool.
Our standard is superior customer service. And we are guaranteed to provide you with everything you need and more.
So don't waste time running from place to place. Find it all at Builders Mall.
Life is better with Rubis Rewards. Just fuel up and swipe for your chance to win free fuel, cash back in our stores, restaurant and store discounts from our partners, plus prizes and surprises. It doesn't get better than this. Your Rubis Reward tag is free at every Rubis service station in New Providence. Get yours today. Rubis, it's just better.
We've all got plans for our golden years. Unfortunately for many, this may just be wishful thinking. To generate an annual income in retirement of $70,000 for 20 years at a rate of return of 5%, with inflation running at 3%, requires more than $1.1 million. So how do you save that much money? Many companies provide a group pension plan to help their employees by deducting an amount each month from their pay to contribute to the plan. Personal Pension Plan, or PPP, is similar to a group plan, but offered only to individuals. These plans offer many of the same benefits and features. Contact us for more information on pension.
Welcome back. Treatment for dialysis patients has been a concern for the Princess Margaret Hospital officials. Minister of Health Dr. the Honorable Dwayne Sands acknowledges that it's a challenge health officials are working to address.
Dialysis has been a huge challenge for more than 10 years. We have a dialysis unit at Princess Margaret Hospital that was designed for 125 patients. The public dialysis service provides renal replacement therapy to almost 600 patients. And so some of those patients are managed in Grand Bahama, some of them are managed in Abaco, many are managed at Princess Margaret Hospital, almost 200, and then some are outsourced to Renal House, to other private dialysis units in New Providence. But we continue to have significant challenges because we don't have enough nursing, because the equipment requires upgrades.
The health minister pointed out that scheduled treatment times of dialysis patients have been adjusted to accommodate growing demands.
There's not enough time in the Princess Margaret Hospital dialysis unit, and so some people have had their total dialysis time reduced. Sometimes people only get 2.5 hours. Sometimes people get 3 hours. The typical is 3 to 4 hours. And so these are real problems. We don't have the dialysis nurses to provide the level of care that we would like to provide. And yet we're mandated to soldier on.
Well, the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union encouraging the men of its membership to get screened as a part of activities marking Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. President Darren Woods is urging men to make their health a priority.
There's a phobia among men in particular about going to the doctors as a whole. And so we want to draw the light or put the spotlight on them going and getting tested, because in today's society, in today's age, there's no reason for any men to die from prostate cancer. They started testing on September 18th, which is Tuesday, at the Elizabeth Estate Clinic, September 20th at the Flamingo Gardens Clinic, September 25th at the South Beach Clinic. Testings are also done at the Fleming Street Clinic on the 27th of September.
Woods said the hotel union is a part of a national effort to get more men throughout the country tested for prostate cancer this year.
Between 2004 and 2017, there were only 6,600 men in the Bahamas who were tested that they would have done. And the aim is to try to get that number up to 10,000. We're only asking for 10,000. Now, we know we have more than 10,000 men in the Bahamas. And once cancer gets out of control, it kind of it has a domino effect on our lives. So for us, we want to encourage the men to go out and get tested. Forget about what you've heard about it. Just forget about it.
There's more to come. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, your news leader.
Whether it's for school lunch packs or football parties, Super Value and Quality Supermarkets has the specials you need this September, including Kellogg's Cornflakes 24-ounce box, $3.99. Boneless chicken breast, $2.29 per pound. First Choice Sugar, 4-pound bag, $2.39. Hunt's Ketchup, 35-ounce bottle, $1.99. Cello Carrots, 5-pound size, $2.99. Pick Sweet Corn on the Cob, 8-count, or mixed vegetables, 16-ounce bag, $2.99. No matter the occasion, Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Free, reliable, anytime, anywhere, and instant. That's the benefits of using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Pay bills, check account balances, transfer funds, and more. Enjoy the freedom of banking on your own terms. Why wait in line? Save time. Do your banking using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean to find out more.
Shell is taking you on an exciting journey with its summer promotion. Now through September 14th, enter for your chance to win a brand new 2018 Toyota Yaris. Just make a minimum purchase of $20 worth of fuel from any Shell service station in Nassau. Answer the skill question on the entry form and submit. The grand prize will be drawn on September 14th. Other weekly prizes include free fuel vouchers and VIP packages to see Jay-Z and Beyonce live in concert August 31st at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. For more info, visit their Facebook page at Sunoil Bahamas.
At Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center, we provide imaging services to meet all your family's needs. Same goes for imaging at Grosvenor. We're the imaging experts. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiology specialist can consult your doctor and conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Results are ready within 24 hours. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor today.
You see me? I love online shopping, and when I heard of Welty.com, I said, wow, what do they have to offer?
Welty.com provides me with everything I need, like hair, perfumes, furniture for my mom, anything I can think of.
Visit Welty.com today for all your favorite products, like hair, clothes, fragrances, and furniture. You can see the overall cost, layaway, and pay the remaining balance later.
Huh? Welty.com? Duh.
Welty.com. Make life easy.
Life happens. And when it does, FG Insurance Agents and Brokers is here. We help you protect the assets you've worked hard to attain. We offer home, auto, marine, commercial, and liability insurance. Don't Don't hesitate to protect what matters with FG Insurance agents and brokers. Visit us and speak to your agent today. Or call us at 396-1490 in Nassau or 688-1500 in Freeport.
It's time now for a check on Family Island weather. Chief Meteorologist Basil Dane joins us with the latest temperatures. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, dear Manita. The heat index today got up to 104 degrees, and right now we're going to take a look at temperatures around the Family of Islands, and they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 86 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Greenville, Key and Abaco, also Marsh Harbor, Abaco at 86. The Berry Islands, 84 in Allenstown, Bimini, 84 also in Harbor Island, Rockside, Eleuthera, Artiston, Cat Island, Stanley Key, 85, Kemp State, South Andrews, and Fresh Creek and Central Andrews, all at 85 degrees. More 84s in San Salvador, Rum Key and Georgetown, Exuma, also Clarencetown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Magona, Atkins, and Ragged Island, all reporting 84. Matthewtown, Inagua, 85 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 83. Your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter. In the northwestern islands tonight through Saturday, light and variable winds with flat seas 1 to 3 feet over the ocean with some light to moderate swells. High tide takes place at 11:27 tonight, and your low tide taking place at 5:40 tomorrow morning. And then in the central and southeastern islands through Saturday, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. As we take you into Sunday for the northwest and central islands, your winds become southeast to south 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet, low tide around 6:32 in the morning, high tide at 12:56 in the afternoon. For the southeast Bahamas on Sunday, southeast winds, they will be increasing slightly to about 12 to 18 knots, and the wave heights building 3 to 6 feet over the ocean. And that's going to do it for your boating forecast. It is time now for your travel forecast, and your travel forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. That's going to do it for your travel forecast brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is coming up in about 18 minutes.
Welcome to Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Menopause is when a woman's menstrual periods permanently end. It happens because as a woman ages, her ovaries makes less of the female hormones estrogen and progesterone. These are the hormones that regulate the menstrual cycle. The timing of actual menopause is different for each woman, but it's normal for menopause to occur any time from age 40 to 59. Menopause is a gradual process that can take a number of years. Some women just stop having periods. Most women experience some symptoms such as the following: a change in menstrual cycle, the most common symptom, hot flashes, vaginal dryness, urinary tract problems, weight gain, headaches, night sweats, trouble sleeping, and tiredness are other symptoms. Many women also experience emotional symptoms during menopause, such as sadness, anxiety, and mood swings. Menopause is a gradual process that can take several years. You're not really completely through menopause until you haven't had a period for 12 months. If you are experiencing any symptoms of menopause, seek relief and speak with your doctor about treatment options. This has been Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Live your best life by living well.
Whether you want to get going in a new car, to relax at home while you pay bills on your mobile banking app, to get the best rewards with your credit card, or to get a sure start on your little one's future. Whether you want a quick response on your loan, or just a range of services that keep your business running smoothly, you want banking that fits your life. CIBC First Caribbean. Banking that fits your life.
BTC every day. Every day, every day, every day.
Just in time for back to school, here we are with another exciting announcement. The Ministry of Education calls it a red letter day, a signing between BTC and the Ministry of Education in an initiative that the Minister of Education, Jeff Lloyd, says will not only revolutionize education in the Bahamas, but it will also place the public education system in this country in step with the rest of the world.
We are very happy that the digital revolution in education begins today with this initiative with ourselves and our strategic partner, BTC.
We're upgrading now, if you would say, from a Volkswagen to a Rolls Royce. And teachers and students are excited to be on the cutting edge of technology. No longer would we have to wait for downloads and uploads, because now we will have the fastest speed that's available to man.
As a testament to this 5-year contract and to stimulate the ministry's e-learning initiatives, Minister Lloyd, BTC is proud to announce that we will also provide 2,500 tablets for teachers, primary school students, and preschoolers.
The rollout of fiber technology in our nation's public schools is both an exciting and ambitious undertaking, but it is a task that BTC officials say they are more than willing to meet. I'm Corbell Pfeiffer, and we'll see you next BTC Connection.
Every island and every key. Keep in touch with everybody. It's BTC every day. Every day, every day, every day, every day.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. It came down to one game to decide who would move on to the New Providence Softball Association's Ladies Championship. The Platinum Bull Sharks and Johnson Truckers on the diamond last night, and they gave fans their money's worth and more. Both teams came out swinging, and this game went to the bottom of the 7th with the Sharks up 12-11. From there, the Truckers refueled and pounded out some hits. That, combined with a couple of errors by the Sharks, would be the difference. Truckers win on a walk-off 13-12 to advance.
It was a long fight. We couldn't go down like this. We needed a champion. We needed to go to the championship. I know I was going to hit it over. That one, we really did needed it. Even if I had to fly out and she'd have catch it, we still would have win the game.
I can't say nothing else. We played bad. I mean, in the top of the 7th, we leading by 1 run. We get 3 out. Pop fly to the center fielder, she drop it. Next person back, fly ball to left fielder, she drop it. The 3rd out, the shortstop throw the ball to first base. The first baseman drop the ball. This is about our 3rd year to get us a unit. At some point in time, we got to make the little simple play.
Next up in the title series, the Truckers will try and dethrone the defending champion Sunshine Auto Wildcats, with Game 1 scheduled for tomorrow night.
It's a good fight, but I think we get more bats and we get pitching. We done in the game. They done had a couple of days rest. They on a little slack, so that's a sweet.
After returning home yesterday afternoon, Shawnee Miller-Weeba wasting little time making the rounds. She was invited to the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources for a meeting with Minister Michael Pintard. The former sports minister presented Shawnee with a number of goods, including produce from Bamsey, conch salad, and even a straw bag. Minister Pintard told Shawnee that she is a symbol of athleticism, a practice that breeds discipline, and even more importantly, healthy eating habits.
A part of our mission is to ensure food security, and it's not just about producing food, it is about producing healthy food in a way that it would help to sustain our people. And we are hoping in campaigns going forward that we would have an opportunity for the powerful brand that is Shawnee Miller-Weeba to be associated with this ministry.
Living a healthier lifestyle is definitely important for not only myself but also for the country, and I'm hoping that we can take another step in that direction. So thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure, obviously competing for the season for the Bahamas, and I look for so much more to come.
After excelling in the 2018 track and field season, decathlete Ken Mullings has become somewhat of a poster boy for the athletics program at the University of the Bahamas, but he's still able to keep a level head.
I don't really think about it like that because I love the event, so I don't really let the pressure weigh on me to stress. I just like to be more relaxed and go and attack to get better. I love to compete in this UB uniform, especially how we just became a university, Mingos in the Bahamas. I love to go out there and show them that we could do this at home. I see the Olympics and World Champs in my future, and I plan to get there. To my coach, Ed Nurul and Mr. Cartwright in pole vault, they are my tools, I'd say, to achieve these goals.
And talking about UB athletics, the Mingos men's soccer team on the road this weekend in the Sunshine State. Their first match was this afternoon against Florida College in Kissimmee, right outside of Orlando. The team started off strong on defense, which head coach Dion Gadet said was going to be key for a win, and they even managed an early corner kick while keeping their opponents at bay. But in the 40th minute, Florida College finally broke through, finding the back of the net, and they took that 1-0 lead into the half. In the second half, the heat started to get to the Mingos, and Florida College would score 2 more goals en route to a 3-0 victory.
For the last, I think, 2.5 years has not been defeated. We played them last year, and this team beat us down. Even though the score was the same last year, they really manhandled us, and we got away with a score of 3-0. I think today we demonstrated that we've grown up a bit. We still need to grow some more because we got a bit tired in the latter part of the game, and we gave away 2 concessions that, you know, on a normal day, I think that doesn't happen.
UB returns to the pitch tomorrow against Johnson University, and that match starts at 4 p.m. Well, local baseball umpires being given the opportunity this week to earn certification status. We get that story from Amajal Knowles.
Some local umpires taking part in a week-long workshop. According to Chief Umpire of the Bahamas Baseball Association, Martin Park Burrows, the workshop is designed to improve the quality of officiating here locally while seeking to make the games more competitive.
The guys from Dominican, they do this umpire clinic, which we think is very needful at this time. The BBA, we saw a vision that we're going to need to bring in new umpires, but we don't just want to bring them in. We want to give them material. We want to train them before we put them out there.
Burrows and BBA President Samuel Rogers on why the training is necessary.
Baseball is growing, and you know we have 3 different. We have Eleuthera, we have Grand Bahama, we have Abaco, we have Nassau. Nassau have 3-4 different leagues. We need to try and get everybody. We did the one in Freeport, so after this now I'll have to go to Eleuthera and go to Abaco and continue on doing it, so we could get everybody on the same level.
That's why we're trying to make sure before the 2018-2019 season start that we get all the umpires who wants to be involved from Nassau, Freeport, some from Abaco, I think one or 2 from Eleuthera, to make sure that when they're officiating the games, it'll be they have a more better idea of what umpiring is all about.
There are also plans to expand the workshop to Family Islands.
What we're trying to do is we're trying to get everybody involved. We don't want to leave nobody out. Because like I say, all our islands are playing too, and the game is improving, and we need the officiating to be at the same level.
The umpire clinic is expected to wrap up today. For Zenestol Sports, I'm Amajal Knowles.
From the Government League basketball season, the Cybots are in danger of not winning the regular season pennant for the first time in a long time, and that's because the first-year Panthers are still undefeated.
You know the story of the rabbit and the turtle, eh? You know, the rabbit jumped out, but at the end of the day, the turtle caught up and won the race. And this team is a championship team. We have won 3 of the last 4 championships and 4 of the last 5 championships. So, you know, they're playing some good ball. They're putting in a lot of work. I really admire that. They're doing some of the things that we used to do, what we call our Cyber Shares program. We really have a good unity with those guys. But at the end of the day, I can tell you those guys behind me, they don't want to give up the championship, especially to a first-year team, knowing how difficult it was for us as a first-year team when we came to the league, and it took us about 3 years before we could win the first championship. So they're not going to just allow the Panthers to come and win, or the Aces to come and win this championship. If they want to win the championship, they got to go through Cybots, and it's just that simple.
Now, while the Cybots have already lost to the Panthers, Cybots coach Wade Watson is still not sure whether or not he'll even have the chance to face them again when the postseason rolls around.
I don't know if they can make it to the championship, you know. I'm still not certain about that. But the reality is one loss could cause a big disruption in the team based on my experience. But if they make it, and we be there, I guarantee you, we have a mantra that we're not going to lose any games in the playoff, and we're going to try to accomplish that.
After 18 years in the ring, boxer Misha Major Payne will bring his pro career to a close next month at the C.I. Gibson Gym. He explained why now is the best time to walk away.
I'm 36, about to be 37 in October, you know, and like I say, my passion is for boxing, helping youth development. You know, we got a lot of stuff going on with these young kids in the community today. You know, they more violent, more vicious, and they just need someone who could show them the right way and the right path. And I think the sport of boxing, which has helped me growing up in the Camp Road community, you know, Scranton Valley, shout out to Scranton Valley community, you know, it's really helped me to change my life around, you know, because I was a troubled young kid, you know, growing up with both parents, you know, in society, we like to say, you know, or the father figure, the male figure. I had both parents. I used to get arrested, get suspended from school, get in fights at school, and boxing helped change my life around. So I want to be able to give back to these young kids and let them see there's a better way, not other than where we live in a city community.
And that will do it for sports. Stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight comes back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Sean, what you doing home already? And why you can't do anything I ask you?
Calm down. Everything cool?
Everything always cool, but you running me hard.
I already do everything on the list.
You pay the light bill and phone bill?
Check.
You get the Bahamas Air ticket from me and check the Sky Bahamas tickets from mommy?
Check.
I know you ain't send that moneygram to Junior.
I already do that too.
You sicky. You ain't never do everything I ask you.
I go on the Cash and Go and do everything right there.
You pick up dinner too?
Cash and Go don't sell chicken yet. Cash and Go, your one-stop shop for bill paying and so many other things. Mom, guess what it is? That's me. Bartender, do you see me? I on television. I gotta tell my girlfriend I on television.
Hello?
Babe, turn your television to ZNS. Quick, I'm on television.
I don't have a TV in here.
We have Wi-Fi, though.
We have Wi-Fi.
That's fine. They upgrade now. You can watch it live from your phone. You just have to download the app.
All right, hold on.
Go to the App Store, type in ZNS, download the app, and you'll be able to watch ZNS straight from your phone. Hurry up, before over there.
Get your news and more anytime, anywhere with the new ZNS app. Stay connected from around the globe with our live stream news updates, all in the palm of your hand. You can also listen to the ZNS Radio Network for your favorite music. Go into your Apple or Google Play Store and download the ZNS app today.
There's a check. Miss I just start now. I still gotta pay.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, Florence now inland but barely moving. It's crawling towards the west at about 3 miles per hour. Maximum sustained winds have been reduced to 70 miles per hour. But the bad news is it's going to sit around all weekend long. There's dumping heavy rains over the Carolinas. They already have flooded streets, and these showers are just going to add to that. And once that eye pushes further west, you can expect some more surge to move inland. So near the coastal areas, you will still have a lot of surge taking place until it gets fully inland and start to make that turn sometime on Monday towards the north and east. We'll get caught up in the frontal system, and that will eventually pull it over the Atlantic Ocean. And then we have Isaac, which rebound again today. Now a weak tropical storm packet winds of 40 miles per hour. It's moving towards the west at about 14 miles per hour, expected to make a turn towards the north and west as a low pressure, but remaining well to the south of the Bahamas. And our forecast for the night, partly cloudy and warm, low temperature getting down to 78 degrees tomorrow. Not bad. had a pretty nice day with partly sunny and humid conditions. High temperature around 89 degrees. The heat index tomorrow should be about 104 degrees again. An extended weather forecast for the next 7 days. Pretty nice on the weekend. A couple of showers coming back in the forecast on Monday and Tuesday, and then things dry out quite nicely during the middle part of the week. So all in all, seems as though we'll have a nice weekend, particularly after Florence has passes well to the north and east and rendered 1 or 2 swells for boaters, but right now things are settling back to normalcy.
So any major weekend plans, guys? Johnny?
Sleep.
Sleep? What about you, Basil?
Get funeral in the mix.
Wow. Well, it's going to be a wonderful weekend weather-wise in any event. So that will do it for the Bahamas tonight. For all of us here, have a wonderful weekend, everyone.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
It's a beautiful day here in Grand Bahama.